What's going on YouTube? This is Ryan coming to you with another Tetris Attack improvement video. Now in this video I'm going to talk to you about versus mode and why playing in a versus mode, especially against a human opponent, is fundamentally different than playing an endless mode for skill. Now, I told you in one of the early videos that learning skill chains is the most important thing you can do in this game, and that's true. But in versus mode, there's an additional skill that you need to master. That skill is knowing when to continue your chain and when to stop your chain, and focus on clearing junk blocks on your screen. Now this isn't the hardest opponent I could have picked. As you can see, I'm Yoshi on the left, but I will show you the difference between the styles of play in endless versus mode. Now I could just focus on making clears, but what would happen if you're playing against any sort of skilled opponent? You'll notice that he'll keep making junk blocks appear on my side, so obviously at some point I would need to switch gears and focus on just getting rid of the junk blocks that he sent to me. However, skill chaining is still the most important part. I'll show you why. The larger your skill chain will translate into directly increasing the size of the junk block that you send to your opponent. In this case, I just sent one line of junk blocks because I didn't make a chain over 3. In the next round, I'll attempt to make a chain that's a little higher, and you'll see why those are more useful. Let me level my stack, bring it up, go for horizontal. You see how that stack is a little thicker? The larger skill chain you make in versus will mean a bigger block that they'll have to deal with somehow. On the extra hard levels, they'll be good at clearing them, but for demonstration purposes, I'll just tell you that the greater your combo chain will mean the greater the block that you send over. However, if you do get sent over a big block, you'll have less space to combo chain, so it doesn't really make much sense to focus on combo chaining when you're about to lose and there's nowhere for you to go. Which is why you always need to switch gears whenever you start getting into hot water and focus on clearing the blocks on top of you. I'm just waiting for these opponents to get difficult so I can show you an example of why I would need to focus on one or the other. I'm just going to sit here and wait until this opponent sends stuff to me. Now I could combo chain here, but no matter how much I combo chain, I still got his shit like on top, and I gotta do something with it. So at this point I would say, okay, I need to back off, stop whatever it is I'm doing, and fix this because I'm about to lose. So the strategy is clearing it, and then while it's clearing it, trying to make combos with the ones that are falling down and get right back into skill chaining. That's basically the secret. You want to focus on clearing the blocks on your side just long enough to get them moving, and then if you have any residual blocks, start trying to combo chain them again so that you can counteract the big block of shit that's currently on your side. But you can see if you make any sort of decent skill chain in a versus mode, even if they manage to clear it, they've still got to clear it a few more times, which is why skill chaining is still king, even in versus mode. It's imperative that you master that technique if you ever hope to beat any of the opponents on the extra hard mode. I'll show you another example of me owning an opponent here. Basically because if I create so many junk blocks that they just can't do anything, then there's really no way that they can come back. I mean, their stack is so full that even if they wanted to make a skill chain, they just wouldn't have enough room. So just to recap, when you're playing in versus mode, always focus on clearing the immediate blocks above you, and then once you know that they're going to be cleared to a point that you can start working again, just switch back to skill chaining. But if somebody sends you some large stack like a 12 stack, just stop whatever you're doing and focus on clearing it. Because if you delay even for a second, you'll lose, especially with a skilled opponent.